actually seen out what Emily looks like. I should probably take the camera and show you Emily. Hello.
I look scary. I think I might have scared them. Okay, we've got these two vests.
Last time we got you telling who you didn't believe it, so
We need to double check if there's anything that leaks out. If there is, then we'll get you something. Hey guys, smile for the camera. What time are we leaving? What time are we leaving? We don't know.
don't tell me.
I thought you were saying when we left. When we're leaving, I mean, we just got you. What?
I can smell it on your breath.
Hello. Hey Rob, get the camera.
Thanks, Bill.
What? Emily has to film.
Yeah, so it's short.
Hello. Oh, there's our goes our naughty dog. Oh, look, made a friend. How long until we get caught? Look at the food. Sorry, I get distracted by food.
I should be the one distracted by food. I want to eat a lot. I eat more than you.
That is true, actually. That is.
Look, the big book for the whole show.
Nightmare.
And we've got a little orchard, so we're just going to do some of my apples this year.
Hey, Liz.
Come up with
Hi, Liz.
apple juice, it keeps a year.
Now let's say hi to the family. What?
You can't get it for keep it.
No. Look, see, this is the park. Yeah. Oh yeah, fair, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bug fair.
Get mixed up.
It's not a bug fair, people.
Yeah, look, see, look, all the stores. We might not be able to show you all of it, but we'll try as best we can. Right, and yes. Right, okay.
Also, this is our version of a face grill.
Yeah.
This is how we want to do it.
Hey guys, look at found Nan.
Nice two hands for me.
Oh yeah, look at it. Look at the hat. Look at the hat. So you still want me to make the deal, right?
You have no choice in that matter.
No, I've still got a deal. Right, the deal was that I had to wear a deerstalker.
Yes.
Okay.
A proper Sherlock Holmes deerstalker.
So not a panty one.
Yeah, with the flaps and everything. You just have to find one.
Yep, she's determined. Yeah. What are we doing now? What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look, so we're going to do some archery. Yep, so we'll do some archery. Should be fun.
Yep.
And just want to put the arrow the other way around, so it's that.
Oh, right.
It's pointing out.
I've got this bit.
Release.
There we go.
Not bad.
There we go.
Say that. Wait. Alright, now try turning. That way.
Alright.
Alright, you hold the bowl like that. Cool. Done?
Yeah.
Hi, Zooming.
Grab your bow, Rob.
He's already done it.
Oh, you know, we're not ready.
I may not be yellow. Okay. There we go. So, actually not for me. I'm not Katniss everything.
He's gone for the Twinkies.
No.
You know what to do. on the previous one.
Dehydrate, guys. And on the one.
Are you right-handed?
One under.
Keep hold the bow.
Ooh.
Do that.
Bit high right, yeah?
Did you beat that? Funnel always goes up. Probably not.
Okay.
Turn sideways.
Remind me not to piss you off, okay?
Straight. That's it. Close your left eye if you can.
Point to the target.
Where did that go? Last one?
Yep, last hour.
Last hour. Let's see if make it count. Like Merida. No, not like Merida. Okay. Hey, hey, you did it well. Hey.
I got reds, that's good.
Yep, come on, let's go, yep.
The world famous Royal Signals motorcycle display team, the White Helmets. Now, before we start, I do have a couple of safety announcements. Whilst the guys are highly trained and highly skilled in what they do, sometimes accidents and instances can occur. So to that end, I just ask you to make sure you are on the other side of the rope that we have set up. And if anything does happen, we have medics on hand that will deal with any situation. And should a motorcycle come towards you with no rider or a very panicked look rider, I just ask you to keep your wits about you. I'm now going to look over to my second in command, Sergeant Arnold.
That's not scary, is it?
To see if the guys are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Royal Signals White Helmets. So formed back in 1927 from the dispatch riders of the Royal Corps, the team have now been going for 89 seasons. And many of the tricks you see today were performed back in the day when the team first formed. So what we're going to do today, we'll start the show by doing a quick lap of the arena just to get a feel for it, to warm the bikes up, to warm the guys up, before they start some very close and quick crossovers in the centre of the arena. Being led out there by Sergeant Arnold and Corporal Hoover. A quick little nod from the front riders, lets the two lines know when to separate. Now, using these cones around the outside of the arena, the guys will make sure their partner is exactly in the right position before they throttle on, aiming to get as close as they possibly can to the back tyre of their partner. So I think they've warmed up a little bit. This time we're going to make that angle a little bit sharper, a little bit quicker. Ladies and gentlemen, as they form up and move back in, how about we have a round of applause for our opening ride? Now in the far corner, marching out very smartly, you will see Lance Corporal Perry Wilson, ready to perform our very first trick for you today. Along with Corporal Coughlin, they are performing the trick known as the double jimmy. Now the double jimmy is based on our cat badge, Mercury, the messenger god, and marks us out as Royal Signals communication soldiers. And these two guys here are performing perfectly the two double jimmies. Next up, coming out of the pits, we have the trick known as the hanging ladder. Sid Grieve, who's one of our first year riders, he's the one who's climbed up that ladder and he's hanging upside down. And along with Corporal Peaver, who's the rider of this trick, he has to have ultimate trust, faith in his rider to make sure he doesn't get dropped. A little bit of adjustment on the controls, but of course, he has it under control. And now in the centre of the arena, you will see two of our least height, two of our bravest white helmets coming in to lie underneath our human jump boards. Being positioned there by Sergeant Arnold, we make sure these boards are in exactly the right position, ready to receive the 10 riders over the top. And each one of these guys is going to receive about 300 to 400 kilograms of mana machine going straight through the elbows. A quick little thumbs up there just to make sure the board holders are okay and they come round for another pass. always has a black peak. And this black peak marks him out as the last person on a live show to drop a motorcycle, and it's the mark of shame that that rider has to wear. So as the guys come down for one final jump, how about we give a round of applause to our jumpers as they're coming over the boards. And finally, how about we have a round of applause for our jump board holders.
Ouch. Go say ouch.
So the next trick we have coming out for the pits is known as the Eagle, and being ridden by our first year rounder, Sigrid. Now Sigrid joined the team just at the beginning of this year, and when he came to us he had never sat on a motorcycle before, and after being taught the very basics of how a bike works, he was performing this very trick just after a couple of days of joining us. Next up we have our resident gymnast, Lance Corporal Peaver. Along with Corporal Mackie, they are going to perform the seated headstand. Now you may notice that none of our bikes have any suspension on the back, and every one of the lumps and bumps you have on this very hard arena, it's very dry in here, every one of these lumps and bumps is going straight through the head of Corporal Peaver, and it takes a huge amount of skill and strength to be able to maintain this position. Coming out now we have Lance Corporal Perry Wilson. I think he's been watching a lot of the Olympics, and he's going to perform his bar trick known as the parallel bar. And what else do you do when you hang upside down two motorcycles? That's alright, you get out your favourite magazine, you give it a bit of a read. He might even give you a bit of a wave as he comes round there as well. Now you may notice that none of our tricks, other than the bar you're seeing, none of them have any supports, and it's purely being held together with the teamwork, the skill and the training that our white helmets receive. So in order to be a white helmet, you don't have to ride a motorcycle forwards or backwards, because that's too easy, but you have to be able to multitask, as going to be demonstrated here by Corporal Jack Gooding with the reverse juggle. Jack hasn't dropped any of his juggling balls for a while, so how about we give him a bit of a round of applause, a bit of encouragement, just to make sure he doesn't drop any of his balls today. You can usually see a big smile on his face as he gets to this point when he knows he hasn't dropped anything. But coming out now, not to be outdone, we have Lance Corporal Fraser, who thinks that was too easy. So along with Corporal Potter, he climbs up the ladder and performs the court jester. Now you can see just how much he's bumping around there, and it does take a large amount of juggling prowess to be able to not drop any of his balls, and he is hanging on for dear life a little bit. How about we have a round of applause for our court jester and for our jugglers who didn't drop anything today. Now this is the part of the show that my insurance company absolutely hates, because we're going to bring out my nice shiny white helmets car, and for those who have got a keen eye, you might notice that there are a few dents in this car. We're going to have two jumpers for you today. Our first jumper, Sigrid, as I mentioned, never ridden a motorcycle before he came to the team at the beginning of the year. So as he comes up, how about we have a bit of encouragement, a big round of applause as he runs up.
Here you go.
Very close, but it looks like he's going to survive. Now our next jumper, Lance Corporal Angel, he's been in the team a little bit and he thinks the car's just too easy. So I'm going to put 4 of my most expendable white helmets underneath, just to make the jump a little bit more difficult. As I said, you may notice a few dents in the car, so I'm going to need a large amount of encouragement on this one. And a huge round of applause as Ben comes running up here.
Missed it by that much.
And it looks like my car survived another day.
Yeah, we should make music on the bus, yeah.
Next coming out we have the Cossacks, based on that famous Russian dance position, the Cossack. Being ridden here by Lance Corporal Fraser, who's the man on the front of the bike. We have 2 Cossacks hanging off the side of the bike on this time. As you can tell from the massive smiles on their faces, they absolutely love to ride a motorcycle this way. notice that our bikes come in two different types. You have those of a normal ride bike, which you would expect to see on any bike that you'd see on the road. And then you have those with sticky throttles that allow the riders to be able to remove their hands and perform many of the tricks which you're seeing today, being ably demonstrated here by Corporal Mackie on the book reading. Now you may also notice that he's actually sat on the front mudguard of this and has absolutely no control over those handlebars as he's steering this bike, just using his weight and his knees to be able to steer the bike around. So I think the guys are warmed up now. I think the bikes are warm enough. We've seen two bikes crossing over in the centre. This time we're going to throw a third bike in there. So these guys are now working in threes. Known as the Irish Whip, we have 3 riders crossing over in the centre of the arena. Again, they're using these cones around the outside, making sure their partners are in exactly the right position before they throttle on. Get as much as they can out of these 750 classic Triumph Tiger T140 motors. That is part of the show. It's not one of our bikes backfiring. I don't say anything because I love to watch you all jump at that point. But as the guys form up and move back in, how about we have a round of applause for our Irish Whip riders?
There we go.
And many of the riders that you're seeing doing these quick crossovers, they're second, third and fourth year riders, so they're a bit more experienced with the team. And many of the tricks you'll see coming out are being ridden by our first years. Such as the one coming out now known as the 14s. Being controlled by Corporal Clark, he's the second man in, he's the one who sets the speed on the motorcycle, and working together, perfect teamwork and harmony. These guys make it look easy as they're going round. But as I mentioned, they're all first year riders and have not been riding bikes for very long at all before they come and join us. Now we are a motorcycle display team, but brand new to our season this year we have our Yamaha quad bikes, and as we are a motorcycle display team, these guys, they should only be using 2 wheels as they're coming past here. And these quad bikes, they are designed to stay on all 4 wheels, so it takes a large amount of practice and skill to be able to get into the positions that Corporal Jack Gooding and Corporal Ascot are getting here. So as they're working together, how about we have a round of applause as they're coming round here? Being brought into the centre of the arena, we have our famous fire jump. Now the fire jump is a rite of passage for any white helmet, and every single one of us has had to go through the fire on a live show in order to be able to earn your white helmet. And up until that point you have to wear a black one, and it marks you out as someone who's not quite a member of the team at this point. Just as we're adding a bit of fuel to the fire there. It is a warm day, but you may feel a little bit of heat and you may see a little bit of smoke as this goes up, but I can guarantee it's not going to be quite as much for our 5 jumpers today. So as the quad bikes come down for one final time, how about we give them a round of applause? They're doing their standing wheelies there. So as I mentioned, we have 5 jumpers for you today. Our first jumper, Corporal Hoover, a local boy, and our chief instructor, he's going to be the first one through the fire, followed by Sergeant Wynne, again a local boy who's going to be going through.
Here we go. Yep.
So as our first jumper, Corporal Hoover comes through, how about we put our hands together? He's going to go up to second, duck his head to protect those pretty features of his.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, we've gone.
Next up we have Sergeant Wynne.
I got it, Eddie.
Now we have Lance Corporal Wayne Jorhussel going over the car earlier, and finally we have Lance Corporal Fraser, who's going to show the guys exactly how it should be done. Ladies and gentlemen, about we have a big round of applause for our fire jumpers today? That's that fun part of the show. We have to try and put the flaming wreck in the middle out. So at this point, I'll just take a moment to let you go how the guys come to join the team. So we're all serving members of the British Army. We are all Royal Signal soldiers. And many of us have done operational tours before they come along to us, try a 2-week selection course. The guys have never, many of which have never ridden motorcycles before they come to us, and they're shown the very basics. If they show they have the right attitude and aptitude at this 2 weeks, they then come to us for about 3 or 4 years. Following a 6-week training camp, they go through the fire for the very first time and earn their coveted white helmet. I'm sure you can appreciate, especially in this very hot weather, these heavy woolen uniforms are difficult to be in enough, let alone when you're trying to put out the fire. You may also notice the Black Peak is on the field at the moment. This isn't his punishment.
It's...
Under the watchful eye of Corporal Holcroft, who's one of our more experienced members of the team. So ladies and gentlemen, I can see a lot of you are taking photographs. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter. Please do send them in to us, because we're far too busy during the show to be able to take any photographs, and we do love to see some of the shots you've taken. So it looks like they're milking the fire a little bit.
I know, I'm just joking.
But now we're going to move on to the show. Looks like we're going to leave a little bit burning in the middle, which just makes things a little bit more exciting as well as they're going round. So the next trick coming out, you may recognise this, maybe not on a motorcycle, but you may recognise this from your school sports days, known as the wheelbarrow. Now Lance Corporal Hitchmo, he's the one on front there, and then Corporal Nixon, he gets up into that wheelbarrow position, and it is very difficult to be maintaining this position. So as he goes round, how about we give him a big round of applause just to encourage them to get to the end. He's having to soak up every one of those bumps on this arena, because there is no suspension, as I've mentioned.
I wonder what the big blob was. They all go with blob. Hang on. It turns out to be a big mass again.
Coming out now, we have one of the smallest shared bike tricks we're going to do for you today, known as the 2-bike fan. All being held together with the teamwork and the strength of the guys, especially the man in the middle, Corporal Clark, who's responsible for keeping those 2 motorcycles together. And the guys are doing this trick at the very end of their 2-week selection course. And on the top there, we have Sergeant Wynne, who I know he's got some friends and family in the audience today. So how about we give them a big round of applause as they're coming round there on the 2-bike fan. Now we've seen 2 bikes cross over, we've seen 3 bikes cross over. This time, we're going to do those crossovers, but we're going to do them in reverse. Known as the reverse ride, these are all 2nd, 3rd and 4th year riders yet again, and after they've learned to do their tricks, they then learn to ride motorcycles like you're seeing now. So again, using those white cones around the outside there, aiming on to get as close as they possibly can to the back tyre of their partner. As they come past the arena, they give a little nod to each other just to make sure their riders are okay, their bikes are okay, and more importantly, their brakes are still working. As they come round on the white line, they go through another pass, aiming for the fire as well, just to make it a bit more interesting. I think they're going to go for another pass yet again. They look at their partner, make sure they're okay. Military display team. We are the only remaining British Army motorcycle display team, and as such, being in the Army, we like straight lines. So the guys are now going to show their control and skill over these motorcycles by performing a perfectly straight line down the arena. And as they do for the final time, how about we have a round of applause for our reverse riders? Coming out of the pits is known as the Isle of Man. 4 riders on this trick. Based on that Isle of Man flag, we have 4 riders. Now Sergeant Arnold, who's the one in control of this bike, he can't actually see where he's going at the moment, and he's having to rely on the verbal commands of Corporal Nixon, who's the man on top there, to tell him when to turn. Thankfully today, he seems to be keeping it in the arena. So how about we have a round of applause for our Isle of Man coming down there? So coming into the arena, we have the Swallow, being ridden by Corporal Mackey. He sets the speed on the motorcycle along with Sergeant Wynne. He stands up, and very much like a skier, there's 2 plates on the side of this bike which allows him to be able to control the motorcycle. This is actually how he's steering. Sergeant Wynne, he's just riding for the ride on this one. And the next trick is probably one of the most difficult balancing tricks, known as the forward ladder. Corporal Holcroft is going to climb up the back of the ladder. After setting that speed, he climbs up. And he steers the bike from atop the ladder. As you can see, he's working really hard there to keep his balance. And he's just about doing it at the moment, but he has to climb down the other side to take control of the bike. I think we should give him a big round of applause for that one, because it did look incredibly difficult there. Next up, we have the biggest shared bike trick we're going to do for you today, known as the tableau. We have 10 riders on this trick. Now this is really where our coveted Davida white helmets come into their own, because the man on the bottom there, if his head's not hitting the cone, it's scraping along the floor, and this is really where these helmets come into their own. The man on the top, Corporal Ray, he's just got the easy job of waving and looking pretty. So how about we give him a bit of a wave and a clap as he comes around there. Next, we saw Lance Corporal Fraser showing off earlier with his court jester juggling. This time, he saw that pillion headstand and he thinks he's going to climb up the ladder, and he's going to do it on top of the ladder, being controlled here by Corporal Jack Gooding. Now, all of that weight is so high up that it takes a large amount of skill for Jack to be able to keep control of this motorcycle. See, he removes his hands and he seems to be doing an able job of it. And there's that trust we were talking about earlier. Corporal Fraser. Now coming out next, we need a bit of encouragement on this one, because it is incredibly difficult, because Corporal Nixon's going to climb up onto the big strong shoulders of Corporal Ascot, and using nothing but balance, he's going to stand up. So as he does, how about we give him a bit of an encouragement, a bit of a round of applause. You can see the concentration on his face that he needs to have to maintain that standing position.
Uh-oh, that's close.
I think that deserves a round of applause as well, because that is incredibly difficult. Coming out, we have one of our first year riders again, who seems to be struggling a little bit to set that speed, but now he's up. He stands on one side of the motorcycle, performing the angel, and just using his body weight and balance, he steers the bike around and takes out the cones as he does so. We've seen 2 bikes cross over, we've seen 3 bikes cross over, we've seen them do it in reverse. This time, for those who can count, we've got 4 bikes crossing over in the centre of the arena. This is usually one that gets the medics a little bit sketchy as they're going through, but the guys are highly trained. They have to walk these rides over and over again before they can do it at the slowest speeds, before they build up to the speeds you're seeing today.
Look at the cows. See, look, all huddled in one tent, ready to be barbecued. What? Why not? It's food. Food, milk, cheese. The whole shebang. Hello, mate. Hello. Oh, I say hello. Let's look at ooh. Yeah, that I can't go in there because we've got a camera and that might spook them. We don't want to risk spooking the cows, do we? Well, what do you expect? It's an animal fair as well. Oh, I know. Is that it? That's the cow going, moo.
The cow moved and she pissed herself.
What? What?
Cow moved and then she pissed herself.
Oh my god! Oh man, I missed that on YouTube. I should have probably filmed that on YouTube. Yeah? Listen, all the animals, all the cows. Let's see, more cows and more pigs and animals. No, I'm scared. Zena, you a coward? A coward? Yeah. What? It was there. Oh, look, oh, hang on. Oh, we're gonna watch this. Look, interaction with the cow.
It's a cow.
Yeah, Zena, look.
No, the cow's not happy.
No, she's like it.
And she's like, I don't know what the...
Even if she's dressed like one. Look, the patches, look. You can see me.
She's like, I don't know what to make of that.
Oh, cheers. Hi, cows.
People with chicken in that.
Chicken. The rabbits.
Definitely no cockroaches.
Look over here. Pigs.
Okay, thank you.
That's so great.
Look over here. Hey. What?
She saw a cow and just literally pissed herself.
Yeah.
Literally.
What's that? How's she done? How's she done?
She just doesn't know what to make out of it.
Say, look, I found a ferret.
I know, they're going to eat you.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Yes, ferrets would bite you.
Non Draco Malfoy. Non like Draco Malfoy.
You can go with the people.
She got pecked by her.
Sleeping guinea pig. Sheep. More sheep. Lots of sheep. Hey guys, who's up for lamb chops?
It's $5 for a burger, though.
A pound per chip.
Then we take over to the
We'll focus on mum, I think. Alpacas.
Come here, Pen.
Put it there.
Come here.
Well, mum, what's the verdict?
confused the alpacas.
What's the verdict then?
She confused the alpacas, not the other way around.
Oh, so she's not confused by them, but they confuse
No,
her.
she kept going up to him and and they're going, yeah, I'm moving away from that. I don't know what that is, but I'm just leaving. It's making some really weird noise.
So Dean,
So it's fine with alpacas, but alpacas are not fine with Zena.
no. Okay. Hey. Enda. Who's up for farming? Yeah?
Because they're literally like,
Okay. Who's not good with cow herding?
no, cows is definitely off the list.
Yes, and we know that. So she has to be phased by them.
Oh yeah, because they go along.
More like they go nah.
Cows, yes. Sheep, she's just naughty.
Horses, we're not sure. We saw
She walked past the horse, doesn't care about it.
the pony one, the miniature one.
Then that looks funny on her height, so.
Yeah, so it's like a small dog. To her, it was a small dog. Okay, this is the goodie stuff. Oh yes. Yeah, we may not be able to show you all, but all the it's called Buckinghamshire Fair. Maybe to try out. That's it for today, isn't it? Yep. So please come to our channel and hopefully you enjoyed this. Sorry if there's bad quality. Yes. This is Raveal and Mangle. See ya.